Liable. Got to go to somebody else. Mayfield pulls it down now on the run and going to make it to the end zone for the touchdown. One now. Chubb, running room to the 10, the 5, touchdown. Third down, Hunt breaks a tackle and he's got a first down. Hughes still on his feet. Kareem Hunt breaks it towards the end zone and he's in. Surround your hands quickly. Third and goal. To the end zone is caught by
3.
Welcome, everybody, to the Den of the Dogs podcast. I'm your co-host. Me, as always, my main man, Double R, Ruben Rodriguez.
Clarence. What's going on, my man? What's happening with you, man? Seems like it's been a couple of weeks since we've been on here, but it hasn't. But it sure seems that way.
Yeah, man. We're in the middle of the off season.
Yeah, middle of the off season is crazy times. And folks, before we get into this, and I know it's been a hellacious week here in this country. And I know I could speak for my partner. We're in absolute devastation as to what happened in Texas with these young kids and at school. And I mean, nobody wants to hear that. You have my thoughts and prayers anymore. The time for that has to stop. Nobody wants to hear thoughts and prayers anymore. I know I don't want to hear it. I don't want to say it. Something needs to be done, and something needs to be done fast. But from right here, if anybody involved in all this, any family members get a chance to watch us or hear what we're saying today, we hope you do. And if you do, you please know that we'll be on one knee tonight for every one of you. It's just, to me, it's unfathomable. And I know you have small children that age, partner. I could not believe. I just can't even imagine that feeling when you send your child to school thinking that's the safest place they can be, and it really isn't.
No, it's something that quite honestly has bothered me since I heard about it. It's messed up. There's other words I want to use, but I'm gonna keep it professional and keep it clean. But there's some things going on in this country that just are not right. So,
in the words of one of my longest and dearest friends, he's passed away. He was a media man here in Cleveland. He says, "I just do not understand the country I live in anymore."
No, there's some issues here, and as I said, it's had me shook all week. Quite honestly, if you follow me on Twitter, you probably know I've been posting stuff about this left and right. Things aren't adding up. But more importantly than anything, our heart goes out to the families and the people that were affected by this. It's just a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. No parent should ever have, let alone for diseases and things like that, but for a damn shooting. So our hearts go out to those affected by this.
And not to underplay anything, let's get back to sports.
Exactly. So we're sitting here, and we had some OTAs this week. As Ruben and I were saying, guys in shorts.
Yeah.
Practicing against guys going half speed, but you know how Browns fandom is. We see a couple balls thrown in the air and everybody's like, "Ooh," like they've never seen that kind of thing before.
This would probably be the only place, Clarence, where they would sell out OTAs if they had tickets for it. I mean, just get a football out there in the middle of or at the end of May, early June. It's always been a football town. It always has since I was growing up. And we've got other sports teams here, and I'll go to my grave saying this: when this team, because sooner or later it's going to happen. When this team takes it all, it's just going to be a parade unlike anything you've ever seen in your life, because this is a football town. It always has been. But yeah. You get a bunch of guys out there in shorts and tennis shoes, man, throwing footballs. There was some pretty footballs being thrown out there. I mean, I've never once doubted the guy's talent. Not one time. As a matter of fact, I'm with you that when he was drafted, that was my pick.
Mhm.
I never doubted his talent at all. I mean, but to be quite honest with you, I'm 64 years old, and if you give me a football and some wide receivers and nobody rushing me, I can throw a couple pretty ones myself.
There might, there might be a couple
I,
ducks. There might be a couple ducks out there, but
I could throw a couple spirals downfield 40, 50 yards. Nobody rushing me. No pressure. Yeah. Anybody. Baker used to do that when he was healthy. He did it.
exactly.
Everybody did the ooh, rah, rah, look at that ball. I mean, yeah, it's OTAs are out there just getting them bones and them muscles ready, getting them worked out a little bit. I get that, man. But it don't win you any championships, not yet anyway.
No. We did have finally the thing we've been talking about for months happened. Jadeveon signed since we last talked.
Yeah, I think Jadeveon was already signed. It just wasn't made official. I mean, I get it, man.
That's kind of what I feel.
Yeah, the dude's he's in the league. He's a veteran. You could try to skip all this not off the field, but off season, stuff. I don't need to be there for that. Why? I was just getting closer to training camp. Let's announce it. I mean, I think when even before Watson got here, they already knew he was coming back. Just take it easy, take it slow. We got plenty of money for you, man. I mean, I think the deal was already done. I mean, if you look at the parameters of the deal, that kind of seals it that they had him in here already because he's got guaranteed money. His salary cap or his signing bonus was like $3-4 million or $8 million or something like that out of the 11, 1 point something million dollar salary and all these other incentives. So, I mean, you just don't do that overnight, Clarence. You know that.
Yeah.
That deal was already set in stone a while ago. We'll see what else is down the pike. I know I heard about Ndamukong Suh, but I don't know.
I read a report today. I'm not sure what the legitimacy of it, but from what I read, it was something to the effect of it's either Browns or nothing for him. Said that he was enjoying his newfound life in real estate. So
yeah,
if the report was correct, so that's good. That would absolutely be a key signing for them to put him in the middle of that. Put him in between Garrett and Clowney.
you could potentially have Garrett. You can have Clowney, Garrett, and Ndamukong Suh.
Throw my man Perrion in there.
Perrion Winfrey and on your line, and then you got that kid Alex Wright coming, and Winovich, and I'll be a happy man. I mean, like I said, I'm all for the defensive side of this football. I've always said defense wins championships, and you win games in the trenches, and it always was that way. Teams used to be built from the inside out. Now they seem to build them from the outside because now it's a wide receiver game and you get the best corners in the league and everything's from the outside filtering. But I'm just old school. You got to build it from the inside out. And again, man, this defense is what I was preaching since the season ended. Just get this defense stronger because it's the strongest part of your team. And it's going to get you a long way if you can get these guys, especially with now Clowney and Walker and all these boys on in Joe Woods' system the second time for the second season. Look what happened to the 49ers after the second season with Woods and everybody figured each other out. So I'm excited to see what the defense does this year. And that was a great addition. I hope, Suh, if he comes, it would be just a cherry on top. If he doesn't, I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Yes. I'm also looking forward to seeing the defense play as well. With, as you said, the second year in the Wood system, so I don't think we're going to see anything like the Charger game or the Cardinal game.
I don't. So, no. And look at the Niners too. The first year under Woods, they weren't world beaters either. But as time went on, these guys got to know each other. They got to know the system. They knew there was no reading. Now it's time to react because they know where they're supposed to be. So it's going to help immensely. And then the Winovich is the only newcomer and the rookies, but Winovich is a pro too. He's a veteran. It's not like you're teaching a rookie. and throw him a new bone. You know, he can get in here and hit the ground running.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have actually today was the last day of OTAs. So we have another round coming up May 31st through June 2nd, and then another set the 6th through the 9th.
Yeah.
One of the things I did think was a little bit odd was Njoku not being there.
Yeah.
I understand that the deal is supposed to be close. That's all I've heard is the deal is close. And the number I've seen is 13 million. I think that was reported by Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah.
I love the Chief. Do not get me wrong. I love the Chief. I love what the Chief is supposed to represent. I'm thinking this could be a breakout year for him, but I think I've said the same last year and probably the year before that. So he's a physical freak, obviously. I wish I looked that good when I took my shirt off. But $13 million seems to be a lot for the production we've seen out of him so far. So I almost feel like this contract is almost NBA-like, where they're paying for potential, like a draft pick or something like that. When they draft a guy, they're banking on the potential more than the production. What are your thoughts on this Njoku deal and him sitting out $13 million for the production that he's put out?
Well, I don't think he's sitting out because of the money. I mean, again, we got to think about it like this, partner. We got guys here that don't have to be here. Garrett's not here. Denzel Ward's not here. If they make it mandatory, it's a different tune. I don't think he's not here because of 13 million. That being said, let me ask you this: we were giving Hooper 9 million. Hooper took a lot of opportunities away from Njoku last year. So, that being said, if Hooper's not here, does Njoku, obviously Njoku's numbers probably increase no matter who's under center. Is he worth $4 million more than Hooper? Because if you think he does, I mean, in today's NFL, though, when these owners, and it's quite obvious, Jimmy Haslam spends money. He wants to spend $13 million, doesn't bother him. If you can maneuver the cap, I don't care. What are the chances of these players actually getting, other than Watson, who's got everything guaranteed, what are the chances? And I think going back to that, Clarence, I think that one of the reasons he hasn't signed it yet is because of the guarantees. They can't figure that out yet.
Sure.
But I saw from Mary Kay. But other than Watson, how many of these players actually play out that whole contract anyways? Do they actually really get the guarantee? Do they get cut before it happens? Do they get traded before it happens? And if they do get cut, do they alter a buyout with the owners? And I guess what I'm saying is, how many players actually, if they have a 5, 6, 7-year contract, actually fulfill the end? It's like buying a car. Doesn't matter if the car's $35,000 and you got a 72-month lease on it or buy on it. You're not going to have that car for 7 years. Usually you're going to trade it in for something else. So I guess what you're looking for is how much you're going to pay a month that you can afford, because you're not going to have, or a house. Usually sell your house after 5 or 6 years. So I don't care if it's $400,000, as long as my payment is what I can handle, because I'm going to get rid of it anyways. But here's the funny thing about that. I looked on Twitter all day today. This dude is in $13 million. What has he done to earn this $13 million? It's not like you're paying George Kittle, or you're paying Mark Edwards, or you're paying insert tight end here. These are the same people, though, that don't have a problem with the Browns eating $18 million and getting rid of Baker Mayfield.
That's very true.
So why are you paying this guy $13 million? But, oh, by the way, just get rid of the bum that wears number 6 because he doesn't need to be here. Eat the $18 million. That's the kind of stuff that happens, man, when you're playing with other people's money. I don't get into that. Whatever. If the kids, $13 million for a tight end, and when you're paying wide receivers $20 million, that's not a bad deal. To be honest with you, I don't think, when you got guarantees, you got Cooper getting 20 million, you got Denzel Ward getting 20 million. I get it. These guys are Pro Bowlers, and Njoku hasn't been in the Pro Bowl yet. But get him now before you get a tight end of the Mark Edwards' caliber, or Kittle's caliber, or Kelsey's caliber, who pops off with a $20 million extension. Then you're going to have some problems.
Absolutely.
You get Njoku now at that price, when you can extend them for a $13 million contract, and then don't take that chance of next year, the year after that. That market is shooting up into the 20s. Then you'll have your tight end already set and signed for the value, because there goes that word value again. For his value, he'll probably end up in 2 or 3 years. It'd probably be cheap for $13 million if that's cheap.
Well, it's looking like I just briefly looked up Kittle's salary. George Kittle for next season is supposed to make. Oh, it just went away. Why'd you do that? I believe he's supposed to make about 11 million, a little over 11 and a half million, a little under 11 and a half million.
Okay.
So if Njoku becomes the guy that we all think that he can be, it's probably going to be a bargain. I agree. I don't think that he's sitting out because of the contract. It is, it's not. This is not a mandatory camp. So it'll be interesting to see when he decides to sign, comes in, and I guess we can get the offense complete. I guess same thing though on the defensive side, because as you said, Miles
isn't here.
Ward isn't
here. Who else isn't here? Newsom's not here. You got Wyatt Teller's not here. Bertonio's not here. It is what it is. I mean, you got guys that are veterans, and they're saying having to take there's wear and tear. You haven't played in the NFL. Every Monday, it's like somebody got run over by a truck. These guys don't need to be out there. Stuff happens. I remember way back in the day. I know you do too. Remember a guy named Charles Bentley? We signed as a free agent center, all pro, all world, all everything. And on the very first snap in training camp, didn't even make a block. He snapped the ball and moved his leg back to pivot, and he blew out his knee, and the man never played another down in football again. Those are things. I know that a lot of people don't remember that, but those are the kinds of things these veterans want to avoid. As long as the OTAs are not mandatory, I wouldn't be there either. Clarence, to be honest with you, if I didn't need to be. If my job was secure, obviously I wouldn't be there. But not if I didn't have to be. I wouldn't. I don't make too much of that. Now, if it's training camp and then Njoku decides to be an idiot, like Lamar Jackson, who sounds like he's going to be, then that's a different story.
Speaking of Lamar,
boy, we got some good segues going in here, though. We just get from one to the other.
Does it seem like he just is not long for playing there?
It started with what we did. I mean, these quarterbacks are like, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm saying, hey, I got an MVP. Just, Deshaun Watson got one. I've won more playoff games than he has. I've led the league, and I'm the most prolific running quarterback in the history of the league. And I want my change too, especially since this is his contract year.
Yeah.
Again, his agents probably sending him in a direction where you just kick back, man. You deserve more than this. Again, it was bound to happen.
That's the thing, though. Isn't he? I think he's the one negotiating his own deal.
Yeah, I don't think he's got an agent. Yeah, I think he's doing this on his own. Because if he got an agent, it'd be worse.
I don't know. It just seems like you from the night of the draft when they traded Brown, he didn't seem too happy with that. He's not signing yet.
And they signed
a hell of a player, but if he wasn't in the AFC North, I almost call it the Central. If he wasn't in the AFC North, I'm cool. I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, they signed Hundley today too. Huntley. They got a Huntley and a Hundley. So now they got another quarterback that they signed. So that's kind of telling as to, each side standing pat. He's under contract anyway. It's his last year of his contract. He's got to be there. So he's going to have to make a decision whether he's going to, give up all those guarantees. He's kind of like a Mayfield contract, but the situations are both different. Mayfield's being forced out of here. He is not, because I doubt very seriously if they want Jackson to leave Baltimore. They don't. And I guess this is a decision on his own, but so be it, man. It got nothing to do with us. I basically care less. You can sit out if you want to. I mean, I wish you would sit out. That's fine with me. I don't care.
Oh man, yeah. I thought that's just a very odd situation.
But again, think about this though, Clarence. When it comes to Mayfield situation and people saying they don't want to trade for him because he stinks, that ain't the reason. Nobody wants to do us any favors because of what we did with the quarterback we got now.
Oh yeah.
All these guarantees had just turned all of this into a freaking war zone in the NFL with these owners and these players, where now everything's going to be a guarantee, man. Every contract is going to have to be guaranteed because of what we just did. So you think anybody's going to do us any favors, man? You're crazy. They're not going to bend over backwards to help us. That's not going to happen anymore.
No, I agree. It's been a wild off season so far. So
Yep.
I'm really hoping that honestly, I'm ready to get to football.
And
it's hard to get there because obviously we have the Watson situation hanging over our heads. If anybody read my article, we have the Watson situation hanging over our heads, and we have the Baker situation hanging over our heads.
Yep.
I will say I did not watch the HBO special, the HBO thing on Watson.
I didn't either.
I might check it out tonight as I'm finishing up work, but at this point, I feel like the Browns have done their homework and they are clearly comfortable with the decision that they made. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I guess if it's in, I don't know if the word comforting is the right word, but about this whole situation in the front office is that they have already decided amongst themselves that they made their bed and they're going to lie in it and they're going to move on. And they know something's going to happen. To what extent, they don't know. Nobody knows. Maybe they do. But, it is what it is at this point. It's not honestly NFL's call. And just get the guys on the field. From what I've seen on the OTAs, everybody's all peppy. They got a pep in their step. And it's, everybody's, and of course, it's not just our team. I'm sure it happens at every OTA around the league. And, it's a kind of year where, you sat at the off season's over with, you come in and you go to OTAs. It's kind of like a glorified spring practices for a couple of days. And everybody looked good, man. All the videos out there, all the nice tight spirals and bombs and wide receivers catching everything in sight. You got wide receivers being covered by fifth string linebackers. It all looks good, man. The quarterbacks, like I said, the quarterbacks back there, no happy feet needed. And there's a guy standing on a line of scrimmage with his hand like this. That's the bulk of the pressure you're getting, and everybody looks good, man, at this time of year. But again, it's just a bonding experience, I guess. And the team get together. You see your teammates that you've never met before, in the case of the rookies, and get some media guys out there, get their interviews out of the way early, and then you have it again next week, and then you're gone for a month before you start training camp. So it's boring for us right now, but it's starting to get a little exciting here. It's getting closer to all this stuff counting for real, man, and I'm getting excited about it.
I am too. I definitely am too. Ready to see this new look Browns.
Yep.
Come out.
Yep.
Do something. I don't think we're going to be looking at 8 and 9, but
That depends.
That's just what I was about to say. It depends. If Watson plays all year, then
Yeah, if Watson plays all season, football, as far as football goes, it should be a decent year. I mean, we could have a better year than 2020. But again, we don't know. I don't I don't get excited. I don't talk records. I don't talk anything like that yet because we don't know. Let's talk, when the NFL comes back and says this is what's going to happen. Whether they do anything or not do anything, then I'll look at the schedule and I'll say, okay, now that we got this guy playing, regardless of how I feel about what he's done football wise, what's he going to do against these teams? And I'll go from there. I don't know, call me silly or not jumping on the anti-Mayfield bandwagon, because to be quite frank with you, I am so sick of it. It's not even funny anymore. I just want it over with and gone and done. Let's move on. I don't want this hanging over, because this, believe it or not, the Watson issue isn't going to be the biggest distraction on this team if they don't fix that Mayfield problem. I think that one's going to loom over this team worse than the Watson issue is going to be. So, yeah, records, I don't want to get into any of that. I'm not the one that looks at the schedule and says 12-5. Yes, 12-5. Then I think about, wait a minute, it could be Brissett and it could be.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be Brissett or DAWGS, and I don't know who's going to be number 3. And I'm not even going to waste my time on that, because if it's Watson and Watson gets cleared and he gets to play, and we find out that best case scenario did happen, then we'll talk about it. I'll look and say there's no way, if this guy plays like he did in his last season with better talent, he's going to have a great year. But we'll see.
Exactly. There's still
there's
still free agents out there that haven't signed yet. So there's still moves to be made by not only the Browns, I'm sure, probably making a couple minor moves, but also other teams. So,
and that'll help. Yeah, his decision, Clarence, that's a great point that you brought up there, because the decision that happens with him may have a lot to do with the Will Fullers of the world deciding whether or not they want to play here. Because if they get an inkling that he is going to play this year, it makes their decision to want to come here, or their agents a call here. Who would want to sign with the Browns on a 1-year contract as a wide receiver, then find out that you're not going to be playing with this guy? So, that gets in your psyche too. Like, wait a minute, I'm going to sign with Cleveland, but I'm going to be catching passes from Brissett or from Watson.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? And it's kind of, it's a kind of a weird feeling. I mean, being a receiver or a tight end or a back, an offensive player, I would have to ponder that. Like, wait a minute, am I going to be facing, am I going to be playing with this guy, or am I going to be catching passes from a tier 3 quarterback for the rest of the season? So let me see. Oh, by the way, I was on to mention this. Did you see that the Browns have their kicker and OTAs kicking from the stadium and not?
Yep, sure did. I was actually going to bring that up. It makes more sense than to have him in Berea kicking the ball.
Yeah. You don't play your games in Berea. That is great. When I read that, I said, why didn't they do that with these other kids that struggled? Let them kick in that place, because the weather out here is still, like right now, I looked outside and it was like windy and rainy and nasty. That would have been a great time to get this kid out there and say, listen, I want you to kick 1,000 kicks to each end zone, whatever, 500 kicks, but do it at the stadium. We'll send some people out there, get you all set up. That's a great idea, especially a rookie, but a rookie kicking here, he could see for himself, because you don't have to have a football game to see how those winds blow down there.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, I've been in training camp a few times. It's not, for a kicker, it's not the same in Berea that it is.
I went down there one time and they had those gigantic industrial fans that were
Mhm.
like they were like 6 feet in diameter.
Mhm.
They were blowing air out towards the field to get the simulation that there was wind out there.
Yeah,
But you don't
not the
have
same thing.
well, you don't have to do that at that place behind me here because the winds come off that lake. It doesn't matter if it's winter or summer, so you can get a feel for what you're doing. Especially Cade, who's what he said the other day. I kicked the place at LSU where there was 107,000 fans, but dude, you're talking college ball, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not you miss a kick here in Cleveland, Ohio, and it's a big kick, and they'll kick your butt right out the damn door. This isn't college, man. This is your job now. So
I wonder. Hopefully, they're if at the stadium they're stimulating some game activity too, and giving him some
noise.
balls that have been in the freezer or something like that, so he knows how to kick a hard ball or something, anything like that.
Well, kudos to them for whoever thought this, man. I'd give them a raise because that's just as good. And they should take the punter, Bajorquez, and let him do the same thing. Get all the kickers there. That's wonderful.
Yes. Well, we're at our time, just about at our time, folks. Always remember to check out all of the things that Believeland Media has to offer you. Right now, we're in the Cavs off season as well, but Joey and Brandon are out there. They're making noise. Make sure to check out their articles. We're in the. I was about to say we're in the middle of baseball season, but we ain't even close to the middle of baseball season. But
I'm concerned they're at the end of the baseball season.
I can't give up hope.
I try not to give up hope, but it says you can. If you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, man.
Well, definitely check out Guardians of the Land, though. They're doing it well, doing
Absolutely.
it big. And Max and Mel.
Max and Mel. Shout out to Mel. Shout out to Mel, my girl Mel. Congratulations on your new crib.
That's right.
I know she's been absent for a while, but she's busy getting her new home together. Congrats to her, and you and Max just keep kicking it. You guys are wonderful on there, and every one of your podcasts is right on point. And dude, we don't do this without Kev, man. Kevin Sled's the big man. Gives the opportunity to do all this and hook them up. Look them up. Get in there into our page, email them. We're still looking for sponsorship opportunities. We have some affiliate sponsors joining us now. We have to do that. We have to start popping on these. Shout out and thanks for allowing us to be affiliate sponsors with them.
Rally House and Rogue Energy.
Rally House and Rogue Energy are in there.
Yep. Shout out to our boys on the mic drop too, Joey and
Mile Driver, man. I mean, we're kicking it, guys, with their written stories. The kids are coming up to you, Josh. You're my man. Everybody, man. We're just, I think our go-to now is over. Every time we write a story, at least 1,000 people are reading those things. We want to get it a little bit higher. But the month of May, for some reason, we've just been taking off, man, and it's all thanks to every one of you guys out there.
Absolutely. And yes, definitely check out the Pile Driver, Mike and Dean, covering all your WWE, AEW, NXT, and they also cover the local wrestling scene as well.
Yep.
Any of those graphics that you see we put out, that's our man Dean on the Pile Driver podcast. As I always say, Dean is always out here killing the game when it comes to the graphics and things like that. So definitely, and the wrestling talk too. So make sure that you check those guys out.
All right, partner. And one more thing, it's everybody have a safe holiday, have a safe Memorial Day. Hug your kids tonight when you go to bed, and peace out to everybody. Listen, in the words of the great Freddie Kitchens, Clarence, take us home. In the words of the now I keep saying late. I keep saying late, like he's not here anymore. Of the words of the great Browns coach and now South Carolina coach. Yes. If you don't wear brown and orange, you don't matter. Peace, everybody. Guys, take care. Have a great afternoon.